Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to be doing an update on my Eskute Polluno Plus review, and mileage is, I think it's about 150, 160 miles covered so far. So I just want to share my findings with you, what the Eskute Polluno Plus is like to live with. I have been using it fairly regularly for short shopping trips and the like. I'm on a little 20-mile local ride today around the country lanes. I'll let you know what the range is like, comfort, and some of the pros and cons of the Eskute Polluno Plus as well. Right, first of all, I'm going to start with the pros and cons of the Eskute Polluno Plus. The battery is a 720 watt hour or 36 volt 20 amp hour, and so far I haven't actually managed to deplete the battery. I have been topping it up between some of the longer rides, but for local commuting, going to the shops, I've just been leaving it go, and so far I haven't depleted it, which is quite remarkable really. Now, I did do a long ride on it a while back of 50 miles where I still had 2 bars remaining at the end of that ride. So the battery is a big pro. Right, secondly, the motor. Now, the Fang hub motor is very smooth and it does offer more than adequate performance for daily riding. It's a 250 watt. It's probably going to have a peak power of about 500 watts. Certainly feels that way when you're going uphill. The only limiting factor for steeper climbs really on this particular bike is the gearing, but certainly for moderate climbs of up to about 10% gradient, it's absolutely fine. Right, the next positive about the Eskute is the comfort. Now, it is a low step frame design, so it's very easy to get on and off the bike. The front forks, although they are what I would say a basic coil sprung forks, they are cheap. Obviously the bike is built to a price. They do function quite well under normal riding circumstances. The riding position is very comfortable. Like I said, I did a 50-mile ride a while back on this, and I experienced no discomfort whatsoever. The saddle's quite nice as well. It's not too big, it's not too squishy, but at the same time it's not too hard. It offers a nice sort of the right balance of comfort. Another thing I like about a Eskute is I think it's a nice looking bike. It's finished off really well. It's got an air of quality about it, despite its budget price tag. I also like the fact it's got ergonomic grips. It's a well thought out bike. It's even got a holder for your bottle cage, which is quite useful. Another thing I like is the display. It is nice, it's simple, it's basic, but it's functional. And I have been using the Eskute app, which is quite useful. Doesn't do an awful lot. You can change between miles an hour and kilometres an hour, track your rides, that's about it really, but yeah, it's okay. Right, let's move on to some of the negatives, and there's not many. Right, in the first review video I did of the Eskute, I mentioned the fact I didn't like the brakes. Now, I was probably a little bit harsh to start with, so braking performance has improved over time, but they still don't offer the kind of bite or modulation associated with hydraulic brakes. I would personally like to see Eskute offer hydraulic brakes as an option on this bike. It is a heavy bike, and I do feel that hydraulic brakes would just add another layer of safety to the bike. But having said that, the mechanical brakes do work okay. The next thing which I'm not particularly keen on, and it can be a little bit annoying, is the assist doesn't kick back in again until the speeds drop down to about 12 miles an hour. It can be a little bit frustrating because obviously as your speed drops off quickly as you start going uphill, the minute you get to that 15 mile an hour point you want the assist to kick in, but it doesn't. It tends to drop down to about 12 miles an hour. The other thing I've noticed about the e-scoot is the torque sensor does act more like a cadence sensor. I've got another torque sensor e-bike at the moment, and that really does react to changes in pedalling input, whereas the e-scoot doesn't feel quite so reactive. It's not really a negative, it's just an observation. So anyway, that's my pros and cons of the Eskute Polluno Plus based on 150 miles of riding. I still think it's a great bike. I'd have no trouble in recommending it. I certainly haven't had any issues with it so far. It's proven itself to be quite reliable. Obviously it is early days yet. But yeah, it's so far so good. It's not a bad e-bike at all for the money. I would go as far to say, for the price, if you're looking for a step-through electric bike and your budget is around about £1,300, I really would say this is probably one of the best e-bikes available for the price. Anyway guys, I'm going to wrap this up now. I'm going to carry on with this ride, and hope you enjoyed the video and found it useful. See you later.